Hello, Jason here from septictank.co.uk, and today's video is entitled How to Make Your Old Septic Tank Legal. So why should you have to make your old septic tank legal? Why is this video of any importance to you? Well, simply because this is a very popular subject at the moment, very popular topic. Why? Well, because all the rules and regulations in the UK changed on the 1st of January 2020. And it's now estimated, right, that 90% of septic tanks across the UK are now illegal. Now, that seems quite a dramatic statement I've just made there, quite a scary statement, but it's true nevertheless. So this is why I've made this video, because I want to show you a really simple and easy way how to make your old septic tank legal. That's the whole point I'm doing this video, right? But before we get into that, let me just show you the kind of things now that make septic tank illegal, right? Now, the government, as I said, have changed the whole landscape by introducing new rules and regulations. And these new rules and regulations are called the General Binding Rules, and you can go onto the government's website. If you type in the General Binding Rules, you'll see a whole list of laws now, rules and regulations, which will help you to see if your septic tank is legal or illegal. So what kind of things then are making septic tanks illegal? Well, if your septic tank now smells, you've got to replace it. If your septic tank leaks, you know, sewage effluent is leaking up from cracked pipes, a cracked tank, it's leaking up to the grass above the septic tank or a soakaway, you've got to replace it. If your soakaway is blocked, so the sewage effluent can't drain away properly, you've got to replace it. And if your septic tank is discharging into a watercourse, and by watercourse I mean a river, a ditch, a brook, a stream, it's now illegal. So those are some of the laws that are making septic tanks illegal. So why have the government introduced these new rules and regulations? Well, basically they want to stop septic tanks from polluting the countryside. They want to make United Kingdom a cleaner place, right? And you know, you can't blame them, because many septic tanks do discharge raw sewage into streams and into the soil, and it's bubbling up and whatever, and there's kids playing in it. The next door neighbours are moaning because their next door neighbour's septic tank stinks. So these are just, you know, they're quite responsible when you start looking into the reasons as to why they're introduced. All right, so if you unfortunately are one of the people whose septic tanks are smelling, leaking or blocked or discharging into a watercourse, what can you do? Well, let me show you. There's one more thing that you need to understand. Every septic tank now, right, and I'll write this down because this is even more important than what I've just showed you, although that was very important, right? Every septic tank must now have an MOT certificate. So yes, we know it's not a car, we know it's not a motorbike, we know it's not a bus, but basically all septic tanks now installed before 2005 must have what I'm calling in this point, to illustrate the point, an MOT certificate. And that certificate basically says that your old septic tank is legal and roadworthy is a good, I suppose, term in an art, you know, in that kind of sense. But the certificate that we're talking about here is called an EN 12566 certification. So that is equivalent, right? So it's not obviously an MOT certificate, but it is equivalent to an MOT certificate. And if your septic tank has got one of these certificates, then it's legal, because this certificate is a government certificate. Now, all septic tanks that were installed after 2005 will have one of these certificates. So if building control comes round to your house or the environmental agency and you're able to hand them your septic tank's MOT certificate, which is an EN 12566, then they see that you're a responsible septic tank owner and your septic tank is legal in the eyes of the law. So how do you get an MOT certificate, an EN 12566 government certificate for your septic tank? Well, you've got three options, all right? And these are the only three options available to people who are trying to make their septic tank legal. So we got 1, 2, 3. Right, so option number 1, and this is a very popular option that many people go down, primarily because they don't know option 2 and 3 exist. But option number 1 is to get a firm in, right, and spend anywhere from £12,000 to £15,000 to replace old system, right, with a new septic tank and soak away. So that's option 1, and these things normally come to light when you come to sell your house. When you come to sell your house, the solicitors know that you need to give them this MOT certificate, right? And if you haven't got one, then they'll say, well, you know, we don't know, we're all right, you may be a nice guy, but we can't just take your word for it that your septic tank, you know, is in a good state of health, right? So if you haven't got one, then the people buying your house will get you to drop your house price by 12 to 15,000 quid, or right, they'll want you to get a firm in to replace it, and that's typically what it will cost you. Option number 2, let's say you live by a river or a stream, something like that, then you can't put a septic tank and soak away in, right? You have to put a sewage treatment plant in, and this will cost you anywhere from £15,000 to £18,000 for a new domestic sewage treatment plant. Now, what the treatment plants do is that they convert raw sewage into safe, clean water that can go straight into a ditch, a river or a stream. So these are going rates. I would recommend you get 3 firms around. If you're going for option 1, get 3 firms around, or option 2, get 3 firms around and get 3 different quotes, right? But you'll find out that they will average out at that, round about those figures there. Now, option 3 is a very popular option for those people that know about it. And option 3 will make your old septic tank legal. Now, I forgot to say, once you've spent your £12,000 to £15,000 there, you'll get your MOT certificate, an EN 12566-1. If you spend £15,000 to £18,000 out, you'll get your MOT certificate, which is your EN 12566-3. Okay, so you're guaranteed to get a certificate for your system once you've gone down option 1 or option 2. Now, option 3, right, as I said, is very popular only to those that know about it, and many firms won't tell you about option 3 because they can't make much money on it. Option number 3, it's called an ecosystem septic tank converter. All right, and so this septic tank converter, right, is about £13,000 cheaper than going down option 1 or option 2. They're actually only £2,999, right? And oh, I've converted. I meant to put converter there, right? So let me put that there, septic tank converter. And they're a small government, so they're a small government black box. And I'll show you a bit more about that in a minute. But these ecosystem septic tank converters, they're nuts, right? They're, as I said, a small government black box. They're like that. And they just basically, you dig a small hole buy your tank, you put one of these in. They're not electrical or anything like that. And in fact, if I show you how they work here, right, let me just show you quickly how they work. And they're very hard to get at the moment, to be honest. I think that the company that makes them is in Germany. They make them for the UK government because they're government approved. And they're just selling like hotcakes at the moment during this COVID-19. So if you imagine that's your septic tank there, right? It's a very crude drawing, but that's your septic tank. Then that's your old septic tank, right? And I've got a green pen here, so let me just put some grass on there, look. And so your soak-away pipe here would normally go straight into a ditch or the soil or something like that. But what you do, you put this small government black box in, as called an ecosystem septic tank converter. And what it does, your tank here is full up with sewage. And once the tank, have I got a blue pen anywhere? No, I haven't. But anyway, the sewage waste will leave the tank. It'll go into the ecosystem here, and then it's converted into clean water, which can then go straight into the soil or a river or a stream, something like that, right? The ecosystem. But the point is, right, these systems take about 2 or 3 hours to install. You can do it, you can get your builder to do it. But the point is, for just under 3 grand, EN 12566, you can get that MOT certificate for your tank and make your old septic tank legal without having to spend out 12, 13, 14,000 quid. And yeah, so that is my tip of the day. They're amazing. They are about 1.7 meters tall. They're about 1.5 meters long. They're about 1.2 meters wide, and they work with any septic tank, whether you got an onion septic tank, a concrete septic tank, a brick built septic tank. It doesn't matter how old your septic tank is. Your septic tank could be 20 years old or 200 years old, right? But these ecosystems, if I write it here for you, look. So when you get 5 minutes, if you go onto Google and type in ecosystem septic tank converter, you can see a lot more information on them on Google or on YouTube or wherever you go. So there you go. That's a really simple, legal and cost-effective way to make your old septic tank legal. So I hope that's helped. If it does help you, drop me an email and tell me how much money I've saved you. I am partial to a pint. If you want to buy me a pint, if I've saved you 12, 15,000 quid, then please, you know, by all means, send me a little donation, which I'll happily, you know, buy myself a round or two of drinks in the pub. Or you can also subscribe. If you want to see more videos, free videos like this, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, right? YouTube channel, and it's called my TV channel is called Septic TV. Well, I suppose it could be called that if it was abbreviated, but Septic Tank TV. If you subscribe to Septic Tank TV, I will send you, right, you've got a chance to win, and if you do win it, I'll send you an extra large bucket of septic tank soak-away worms, which you can put, right, in your septic tank converter or your septic tank, and they eat all the fat and the grease, excuse me, and the sludge, right? They prevent septic tanks from developing problems. So if your septic tank doesn't leak and it doesn't smell and you want it to stay that way, then a free bucket of worms, right, is just what you need. But listen, thank you very much for taking the time to watch this video today. My name's Jason. You take care, and I'll speak to you soon. For more information, just click the link below this video or visit septictank.co.uk for free help and advice.